I specifically want to speak to that one today.
The switch from Shakespeare to Indigenous authors was tough at first for English teacher Carolyn Howlett.
Today, what we're going to do is we're going to literally obliterate some of these stereotypes.
But now she's sold.
I think this course actually helps students to be more aware of the world around them and their place in the world in a very diverse community, and I think it's a better course to be taught.
Once you are done the Truth and Reconciliation...
Her public school board in Windsor, Ontario was among the first in the province to change the grade 11 curriculum. And now Toronto's public school board, the biggest in the country, has decided to do the same starting in September. So did the York Region District School Board in the Greater Toronto Area. What this means? More than 500,000 of Ontario's students will eventually be required to study some of the country's best-known Indigenous authors, like Richard Wagamese, before they graduate.
The British Columbia Ministry of Education.
BC's government has also just introduced mandatory Indigenous focus credits for high school students.
It's important for our next generation to know about these shared realities, our histories, and especially what the Indigenous communities have gone through and what they have to share with us.
So Truth and Reconciliation, let's talk about what that is.
A good first step, but some experts say embedding Indigenous knowledge through all subjects in all the grades would be more effective, more like what's being done in the prairie provinces.
Education, if it's going to include Indigenous perspectives, has to be influenced by Indigenous knowledge for the counselors, for what goes in the intercom, the posters on the wall, then of course math and science, not just an English literature classroom.
My dad was raped in a residential school by a nun.
Back in Windsor, even that first step has left quite an impression on students.
I was upset that I'd never been taught about this before. Hearing Indigenous voices of residential school survivors was I think it's essential for all kids.
It opens up a whole new point of view and a whole new sense of critical thinking that people might not have gotten before.
Revealing the Indigenous perspective through literature, exactly as more and more educators are hoping for. Sumanac-Johnson, CBC News, Toronto.